Give me a hint at where to find the parents who left their child behind.
I'm not with the SCIA anymore, but I know a few things and a few people that might help.
And if the timeline or reality itself had been altered, how would we even know?
I can't say too much about it, but the SCIA has its ways to keep track of the timeline.
If I'm supposed to take this vision literally, then the SCIA uses some kind of clock to detect temporal anomalies around the world, and that same device can somehow tell us more about Leviathan's parents as well? You know, I find the idea of stealing from the SCIA as exciting as any sensible thief, a new kind of challenge that I've never faced before. But we're taking quite a detour for this. You're still on relatively good terms with your former boss. Can't you just ask her if we could borrow that device?
Sure, I can imagine how that would go. Hey Director Ravenhurst, remember the time you told me about that mysterious clock in your basement that somehow alerts you whenever someone stops time somewhere on the planet? No? Right, because you never mentioned it while I was still working for you. But I was hoping you'd do it now that I'm just an ordinary civilian with no legitimate entitlement to this privileged information. Forget it. She would never agree.
True, I guess. You should be this sarcastic more often. It makes you sound like a wise man.
Wise or not, it's too late to change our minds now anyway. There's my contact, Yildiz.
What the hell, Grande? I told you to come alone. With a bag full of money in my hand, and both the agency and the police at my heels, I'm taking a great chance meeting with just you, let alone a stranger.
Don't mind her, she's just here to watch over me.
Seriously? That old fossil is your bodyguard?
Excuse me? Joe Mama is an old fossil.
Sorry, I have this condition that forces me to always say what's on my mind. It's the reason I got fired. A group of international terrorists asked me about some of the agency's darkest secrets, and I couldn't help but tell them the truth.
Lovely. And this is your only SCIA contact, Grande?
The only one that answered my call.
I really didn't want to, but couldn't just pretend not to have received his message, because, you know.
The sooner you give me the information, the sooner we can part ways forever. So, what can you tell me?
The device you're looking for is called the Timeless Timekeeper. They use it to keep track of temporal anomalies all over the world. The last time I saw it, Director Ravenhurst locked it in a secret room that only she had access to, at the SCIA headquarters in Del Sol. Everything I know is on this memory stick.
Wait, did you say Del Sol? As in Del Sol Valley, the city of the rich and famous? The HQ used to be in the middle of the desert not too far from Strangerville. That's why the Ravenhursts moved there.
You've been gone for almost a year, and that's a long time in the world of espionage. For all I know, they could have relocated again since I got fired last month.
If you're looking for a new job, the Evil Alliance is recruiting. And I know this because I am the boss. Not bad for a fossil, is it? Care to impress me with your CV?
Thanks, but no thanks. Even if I were to defect to the other side of the law for good, I certainly wouldn't settle for EA. Not with so many other, bigger, more prestigious crime organizations around.
Such as?
Where do I even start? Crabcorn, Diamond Phoenix, Haughty Cat, Ibuhard.
How are any of those better than me? Crabcorn rarely commits any new crimes. They just keep repeating the old ones over and over again. Diamond Phoenix recently recruited the most infamous robber in history and turned her into a melodramatic crybaby that traded her silenced pistols for a bow and arrow. Haughty Cat has a badass staff, but no interesting stories to tell. And don't even get me started on Ibuhard.
No, please don't start. I'm sure Yildiz didn't mean it like that.
Yes I did. And you know I can't lie.
Better watch your tongue nevertheless. You may think of Mischief's organization whatever you want, but you don't want to make her angry. Besides, I worked for the Evil Alliance. Does that make me a loser in your eyes?
Not that, no. I already thought of you as a loser long before you left the SCIA. As did everybody else there.
What's that supposed to mean? What were they saying about me behind my back?
Nothing you would be able to handle. And that is the truth.
Another truth is that we are thankful for the information you provided, but have no further use for you. Goodbye.
Hey, what's going on?
Windenburg Police. Malik Yildiz, you're under arrest for theft.
That seemed a little disproportionate.
How so? In case you didn't notice, that douchebag insulted both of us, repeatedly, hiding behind his so-called condition that forces him to be rude.
Not intentionally rude, just blunt. Such conditions do exist, could be a side effect of high-functioning autism. But why did you offer him a job if you disliked him so much?
I wasn't being serious. Just wanted to rub it in his face that this old fossil is way more accomplished than he made me out to be.
Fair enough. Let's go home and see what's on that memory stick.
And now the news. After recent speculation about whether or not she's still deserving of the title, Windenburg's infamous crime boss, Mischief, has convinced everyone that her criminal organization, the Evil Alliance, is better than all the others. Stay tuned for our live broadcast of her placing her new celebrity tile on Del Sol Valley's Walk of Fame.
Thank you all. Let's hear it for the Evil Alliance. Hey! You're supposed to cheer me on, not bark at me in such a condescending tone. Can you believe it? Are we there yet? Or what are you barking for, bitch?
Nothing in particular. Just revenge for all the times you woke me up by summoning me while I was having a beautiful dream. And a reminder that you could have done the same thing now, instead of forcing me on this long, boring train ride with all of you.
Isn't this the best way to travel that you all can imagine? Man, I love trains.
Since when? A ship I would understand, in your case, but what is it about trains that fascinates you?
Nothing. He's just overjoyed that we're not flying again, like when we went to Selva Dorada. He had never been on a plane before, and getting him to stay in his seat and calm down was a nightmare.
I don't understand how people can actually enjoy being stuck in the flying death trap that could crash at any moment.
You mean, like this rolling death trap that could derail at any moment?
At least we're not moving through the clouds who knows how far above the ground. If this thing flies off the rails, there's still a chance to survive.
Guys, we're traveling to Del Sol Valley to break into the SCIA headquarters. If it's any consolation, I'm relatively sure that if we die anytime soon, it probably won't be on a train.
Then perhaps we should go over the plan once again.
Good idea. According to my former colleague's information, the timeless timekeeper is kept behind a security door that requires both a password and a DNA sample from Director Ravenhurst to open. Fortunately, Yildiz also told us about the director's favorite vice: gambling. There's a casino in Del Sol Valley that she frequently visits, and that's where we'll run into her. By chance, of course, and I'm not going to be present. That would be too suspicious.
Damn it. I can put terrorists behind bars, foil their homicidal plans 10 times over, and protect our country from pretty much any international threat, yet this stupid game is where I fail.
Slot machines have a temper too, you know. It might be more willing to cooperate with you if you hit it.
Ah yeah. It's been a while. I wasn't expecting to run into you here though.
Here in this casino, or in Del Sol Valley?
Both, actually.
Oh, you know, when your son is a famous artist, you sometimes end up in the town where all the other famous people are. And as for my interest in casinos, well, it's part of the business.
Evil Alliance business, I assume. Does that mean you're no longer hiding your second identity as Mischief?
From the public, sure. But from you? You already made it clear last time that you know everything about that. But since there are no secrets between us, I need to ask you something. Do you think my Evil Alliance is inferior to other crime organizations like Crabcorn?
That's something I need to think about for a minute.
No problem. Let's discuss it over a drink, shall we? A perfect opportunity to acquire a DNA sample when you're not looking.
Once we have what we need from Ravenhurst, we must find a way into the headquarters. One entrance is located underneath the Plumbum Pictures film studio. That's where Tiamo enters the stage, both literally and figuratively.
Right. As it happens, my old friend Simone Ingalls, whose latest movie The Strawed Legacy we watched at the cinema not too long ago, is currently working on a new project at Plumbum Pictures, and she convinced the directors to let me play a minor part in it. With you all as my employees, my acting debut will conveniently open the doors to the backstage area for us.
Excuse me. This area is for actors only. The rest of you will have to stay outside.
No way. This is Tiamo Mammini we're talking about. He's not going anywhere without his personal bodyguard. That is me, in case you were wondering.
And I'm his agent.
Emotional support.
Little sister who is excited to see her brother on film for the first time. Unless you expect me to watch it at the cinema, like all the other normal people, with no real connection to him whatsoever.
No, it's fine. Please don't cry. You can go in. All of you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Wait, what about the dog in the fancy suit? Is it with you too?
Yes.
I'm the PR manager. Duh. Thanks for acknowledging my fancy suit though.
What about the password for the security door though? Pretty sure your ex-boss won't just tell us if we ask nicely.
That is the one thing I don't have a plan for yet. Perhaps I can hack it, but I can't say for sure until I take a closer look at the security system on site.
We'll figure something out. We always do.
Thank you guys. I still don't know how that strange clock is supposed to tell me anything about my parents, but I appreciate that you're doing all this for me.
Whether you find your parents or not, you're also part of this family now. And this family always sticks together.
The thing with the clock will probably make sense later. As with all things magical, I wouldn't have had that vision if it didn't mean anything.
Who knows? This smells like another one of Lorenzo's scavenger hunts to me, but we'll see.
Good morning. Or should I say, good afternoon?
Ah. Who are you? You weren't here when I fell asleep.
No, I just moved in, so to speak, courtesy of Windenburg's newest cop. She was a nightmare to deal with as a romp agent, and she's not much better as a police officer either. But you look friendly enough.
If you mean the alien with the purple skin, yeah, that's the same one that brought me in. Can't believe it's been a week already, and I'm still here because my former employer can't be bothered to come and pick me up.
Sounds intriguing. What did you do?
Officially, they arrested me for theft. In reality, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And you?
Nothing serious. I just kind of blew up my dog.
What?
It was a spell gone wrong, and... oh, never mind, forget I said anything. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff outside the magic realm anyway.
How do you kind of blow up a dog?
Well, I didn't blow it up entirely, only about half of its body. The other half was...
Alright, stop. I don't need any details. How dare you do that to a poor dog? I love dogs. Any animal really. They're much less complicated than humans.
Then you two will never become friends, because Noel Frost here is a known animal abuser.
Pet familiar abuser, if you please. It's not the same thing. And I don't actually abuse them. My experiments are perfectly legal in the magic realm.
But this isn't the magic realm. We'll see what a mortal judge has to say about your experiments. And now step away from the door. I have business with Yildiz.
Am I free?
Not exactly.
Looks like your former employer didn't forget about you after all. Perhaps you could put in a good word for me as well.
I said step away.
Ah. Damn you telekinetic aliens.
Ah, Sheeran. You were so distraught when you learned that your father was working for the SCIA, but it looks like you'd make a formidable agent yourself. Posing as Ravenhurst's secretary to get me out of prison was such a brilliant idea. How were you able to fool the police like that?
Ask Mom, she set everything up. Now that you finally quit your job, she wants you back home to look after my sisters while she's busy doing something that will actually help our family. Too bad I couldn't get the alien cop to come with us. That would have been a fascinating specimen for Mom's studies.
Now you really sound like her.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Yildiz. Your daughter has told me everything about you.
Everything? Funny, because she never mentioned you at all. Or did you, Sheeran? Who is that?
Finn Knudsen, your driver today, and my new boyfriend.
Didn't you say we should keep that a secret for now?
Yes, just like I asked you to keep this overly cheerful greeting to yourself.
Sorry.
Boyfriend. No. Your mother wouldn't approve of this. Distraction, while you should be studying.
She also wouldn't approve of me dancing at bachelor parties to finance my studies, but without any support from my deadbeat father, what else am I supposed to do? Now get in the car before the police get suspicious.
Fine. But we'll talk about this later.
I see. Fun car ride ahead.
You could not make me happy, and I am convinced I am the last woman in the world who could make you so.
My dear Miss Elizabeth, my situation in life, my connection with the noble family of de Burgh, are circumstances highly in my favor. You should consider that it is by no means certain that another offer of marriage may ever be made to you.
Was this actually in the book? What the fuck?
Wilbica, language.
Oh, I mean, what luck. That such a great man is proposing to Lizzie. That should have happened way sooner.
Really? I find Tiamo's character pretty arrogant in this scene. Good thing she's dumping him.
No shit, Captain Obvious.
I only know this because my former boss loves Pride and Prejudice, but yeah, that dialogue happens in the novel as well. Maybe not word for word, but both Mr. Collins and later Mr. Darcy propose to Lizzie by pointing out her lack of options, among other things.
Speaking of options, is this really our only one? It's not like I didn't know before that life sucked for women in the 19th century, but that doesn't mean I enjoy watching my brother act out male privilege like this.
I enjoy it a lot more when he does that to other men. To me, preferably.
And I'm still wondering which of Lizzie's sisters represents you best, Lydia or Kitty.
We're not staying until the end. Just give your mother a little more time.
Oh hello. This looks out of place. What could a film studio possibly be hiding behind such a massive door?
Either the most famous actor's most infamous secrets, or the entrance to an area that's no longer part of the film studio. Either way, it's worth investigating.
Hey, you can't go in there.
I recall hearing that before, and then you let us pass anyway. I'm still Tiamo Mammini's emotional support.
And his PR manager. I remember.
Exactly. Wait, what? How does he know? I never said that out loud. I couldn't have.
But that was at the front entrance to the film studio. This is a heavily restricted area that not even actors and staff have access to.
But you do, apparently. So what exactly does that make you? The boss? Or are you secretly working for someone else?
I was about to ask you the same thing, just to see if you'd tell me the truth, because I already know. You're not here for the Pride and Prejudice movie. Too bad, because all of you are quite convincing actors. I wouldn't even have bothered with the background check if Tiamo's alleged bodyguard hadn't looked so suspiciously familiar.
Probably because bodyguards tend to be tall and muscular guys. It's practical, you know?
Drop the act already. You've been exposed, Mrs. Mammini. Or do you prefer, mischief?
This pretty much confirms he's with the SCIA.
Alright. Allow me to show you another aspect of my identity that you may not have known about.
Likewise.
What the hell?
Are you alright, mistress?
That was uncomfortable. But I think we've found what we were looking for. Go get the others, bitch. I'll keep an eye on our new friend here, and see if I can open this door. It's open. Shame on them for using the same predictable technology as my father's bank in Windenburg.
The blue-haired guy who greeted us at the door, huh? Sure you don't recognize him as a former co-worker, Grande? Because it sounds like he recognized you.
Hard to tell in this form, but I'm pretty sure I'd remember a guy with such an unusual hair color if I'd had dealings with him before. If I was indeed the SCIA's laughing stock, as Yield has suggested, it's quite possible that everybody knew me, even though I didn't know them.
Do we at least have a name?
The plan was to make him talk, after subduing him with magic. But then something strange happened. Actually, two strange things. First, he made a gesture with his hand and lifted me up in the air, just like that.
You mean, via telekinesis? That sounds unlikely.
Why? The modern SCIA is an equal opportunity employer that doesn't discriminate against witches.
Except telekinesis is not a common witch power, but normally only used by aliens. And that guy looked nothing like your blue pill of happiness, or Stel Maria, or any other alien we've ever encountered.
Are you sure he wasn't controlling the air around you? I've been able to do that since childhood, and it may look like telekinesis to a casual observer, but it's really just plain old elemental magic.
I didn't feel any gusts of wind around me when it happened. He wasn't controlling the air. He was controlling my body directly, with his mind.
Okay, that's a mystery, and something we should look out for. What was the other strange thing you mentioned?
Wait for it.
He did all that to me while I was dressed up as a nun. Can you believe it?
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the fact that he knew I was posing as a PR manager, suggesting clairvoyant abilities as well, but never mind.
What kind of diabolical psycho would attack an innocent elderly nun?
The devil? And you, probably, if she got in your way.
Doing something like that myself is one thing. It's a lot more shocking when I see someone else do it.
To be fair, he had already figured out by then that you were just pretending.
Could we discuss this later? We don't know what exactly this guy's job is here. Perhaps he's supposed to report in every few hours to let HQ know everything is alright, and we interrupted that by putting him out of commission. We better hurry, before they send someone else.
What do we do with him?
Leave him here. Unless they have yet another witch who can sense that this garden gnome is their missing agent, they might assume he went on the run, like Yildiz. And then, that's going to be his problem, not ours.
Right. We're going to have our own problems to deal with soon enough.